Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Arrakis Central back again. Finally back. Been dealing with some health issues. Nothing serious. Joint, leg, kind of things like that. Problems. Things like that I've been working physical therapy on, if anybody cared. But anyways, huge patch out today for Dune Awakening. My plan is to start getting back into the game again after that last DLC. I've been playing a little off stream, but not so much on stream due to like early nights, so to speak. But the large and massive 1.2.10.0 patch was released today. The patch has arrived, and we're gonna go ahead and go through it a little bit here. I don't know if I can get it much more zoomed in than that, but great things. The versions introduce a variety of requested changes and improvements to the games. So we're gonna get straight into that. Some of these items right off the bat. The highlights. So the big highlights: construction tool now features a replace mode that can be used to replace building pieces with other compatible pieces, allowing you to quickly upgrade your base to new sets. So no longer do you have to destroy the existing pieces to put new ones in. You can just replace them like other kind of survival games have that already. So that was kind of something that we probably should have had in the beginning, but we got it now, so that's good. Updated loot in the PvP areas to be instanced similar to loot in PvE areas. More on this under the resources building, so they'll talk about it more. But basically, deep desert loot is now instanced to you. So no longer you get to the end of the dungeon or research, ecological station, and only one person can get it. Now everybody can get their own individual loot, just like in PvE in Haga. So that is awesome. So that's going to be an incentive to go out. I mean, I want to go on now. I want to go do some of these dungeons and get some of that. So that's fun. So theoretically, if you find one that's already been loot, like people have been technically or theoretically, if you go to like one of the kind of safer high level dungeons, like at the Echo Line on DD, Deep Desert, and you go through and people have killed the enemies already, you might just be able to get through, but who knows? I'm not sure if it actually works that way, because how they kind of lock you through those areas for waves, but I don't know. I'd have to test that out. Also, they've implemented a new loot structure. Oh, I just talked about that. For the schematics, schematics are no longer rotate on a weekly basis. More on this under the deep. Okay, so we'll talk about that more here. Added ability to recover lost vehicles. This is interesting. I haven't really heard them talk about that before. So now you can pay money, Solari, in the game to recover basically damaged and destroyed vehicles. So I don't know how actually it will work in practice. It'd be interesting to say. I guess you can store backup and recovery mode of some sort for money, and save one of your vehicles in case the worm ate it or whatever. So I'm not sure how much it's going to cost or whatever, but that's interesting. So if you get jumped in the deep desert, lose your vehicle, if you had it, I guess, saved, backed up, you'd be able to pay money and get that vehicle back, essentially. So that's interesting. So I guess that's a pretty cool tool for that. That'll make it a little more. My question is, it's only for vehicle backup tool vehicles, I'm assuming, so it's not going to count for your big stuff, like your carriers and your assaults, so that kind of sucks. But still, overall, interesting. In the vehicle management menu, it's also choose a vehicle as a respawn point, so that's okay, that's fun. Vehicle visibility distances have been, this one might be good for, well, good or bad, for PvP. You'll be able to see them coming, but they'll also be able to see you from farther away. So that's kind of an interesting add, which is cool because it would be nice to kind of see vehicles farther out. So you'll know, like, if you're trying to go to a spice blow, you can see them already kind of hovering. You can get the hell out of there if you're not carrying weapons. So that's fun. Wind traps will now stop consuming filters if the base water storage is full. That's a very good, actually, add to the game, I think, right there. So they've added 17 new Dune Man building sets. So I guess originally they were going to drop them in phases. You weren't going to drop them all at one time. People didn't like that. A lot of outcry over that, apparently. So now they dumped the rest of them if you have the DLC. So now all these Dune Man sets here are, I guess, available. They're pretty cool looking. I'm thinking about going and redoing a base in them. So we'll see how that works. They're high tech looking. I do like them. Actually, it might be one of my, next to the Harkonnens, it's one of my favorite looking sets. That shutter door is just cool. There's no denying that. So that's pretty cool. You guys can go take a look at that. All the items you have on there. Continuing on, increased bank inventory. I haven't stored much stuff in the bank, and I haven't been playing as much lately due to all the stuff going on in my personal life. But, you know, I probably should be using this more, honestly, just to store things that I don't really use. And you can just fly out there to, you know, recover whatever you want to use. So it's something I might actually start looking into putting stuff in. But now it's increased from 1,500 to 30,000 apparently. So I guess it was 1,500 slots, and now it's 30,000. So people can just stock up their stuff in there. And they might be doing that because they realize people are taking a break from the game while waiting for these updates and patches for the game to get better for content, because it doesn't look like we didn't get much content in the form of deep desert activities, which is something they're really gonna have to get in here. They're really gonna need to add a in the shield wall area. This is an idea I have, a shield wall, basically player hub. So in the shield wall of Deep Desert, maybe in the center or wherever, they'll have like a little permanent base fixture, outpost that's a player hub where people can meet up. In that hub, maybe they'll have kiosks. You know, they kind of already have it with the Landsrad, but you could even have a Landsrad kind of thing there, and then people can land there. They can basically chat and talk, and all kinds of stuff can happen in the Deep Desert there. Maybe even have some of the the bank maybe could even be there. I mean, that'd be pretty cool, right? You could have the bank. Maybe you can't store. I mean, imagine you'd have so much more people out in the Deep Desert if you put the Landsrad and the outpost vendors and stuff like that, like at Arrakis or Harko Village. If you put some of that in a permanent fixed player hub on the shield wall safe area of the DD, and people can go there, and people would just stay in the DD all the time. It'd be a much more active area. This is a random theory I have. I don't know what you guys think about that, but will they ever do that? Probably not, because nobody ever listens to me. But that would just be cool, right? Imagine if you could mine all your stuff and just drop it straight to your bank, you know, or whatever. You know, that'd be kind of interesting. But getting past that, the features and changes for resources, building, and crafting. The construction tool now features a replace. Okay, we talked about that already. The loot, we talked about the loot. The Dune Man, we talked about that. And then the increased bank, and then of course the garage door has been improved to allow the treadwheel. So the treadwheel, I guess, couldn't fit through the garage. Now it can. I haven't actually built a treadwheel personally myself yet. So anyways, combat. So I guess they changed some things for combat here. Rocket launcher can now lock on characters again. Okay, I guess that was a thing. But it also requires a target lock before being able to fire. Oh, so you have to log on. Oh, you have to lock on before you can fire. You can't just free fire the thing now? That's kind of, I don't know if I like that. Got it? All right, so then improve reliability on vehicle collision with building pieces such as walls. Got it. World building and exploration. Added lights to the Lost Harvest Forgotten Lab to help with guiding towards the boss room. Okay. Oh, people got lost in there, I guess. Story journey. So they improve Ariste's etchings and Arrakis archives to be more accessible. I don't know what that means. Can't remember. Items rewards received through journeys are now not dropped on the ground if the inventory is full, but instead delayed. That require manual claim through journey UI. Got it. Resource delivery contracts from stranded merchants now include a first step to acquire the resource to be delivered. Okay, this is some stuff I guess I'm not familiar with. I haven't really messed with yet. Deep Desert and Landsrad, we have implemented new loot structure. Okay, we talked about all that. So loot's a little bit easier to get as far as the Deep Desert goes. Players will now obtain a player start near one of the taxi services. This gives all players access to attack. So if you get schwacked, if you get killed out there, you're gonna respawn near a taxi. And significantly reduce the amount of sync charts required to be delivered to the lands. Okay, got it. User interface, a bunch of little things like that. Add a new event log, alert entries for base power out. Okay, so you guys can go ahead and go through all these over here on the Dune Awakens website. And there's a ton of user interface stuff. Actually, pressing Shift Enter will now break to a new line in different text inputs that support multiple lines, whatever that means. I guess that's in chatting. That's actually cool. So I think that means when you're chatting, like in the game chat, you can hit Shift Enter. It won't send your chat. It'll make a next line, and then you can enter it by hitting regular enter if you type more. Got it. That's actually cool. Shift enter. Update. I kind of wish they had that on. Do they have that on Discord? So updated debuff UI with a pulsating effect whenever the player is affected by a deadly debuff. This is some good stuff in this. I'm not gonna lie, guys. This might be one of the best patches we've seen. I mean, there's good stuff in here. Good quality of life stuff going on here. The last patch we had the renaming the containers, and now all this stuff in this patch. I mean, this might be enough to make you want to get back and play every day again, honestly, especially with that loot change. I mean, I'm surprised. I wonder if the numbers are up right now. Yeah, let's check that out. I bet you the numbers are just up right now. Let's see if they're up. So let's go to Awakening player count right now. Let's see what it is. Like as of right now, the Steam charts, we're up to 8. I guess that's a little bit better than it had been. I think I've seen it down to so about 4,000 people up. Right now 15,000. So it hasn't really peaked. So it doesn't really look like people are super jumping on the game right now with this update. But yeah, we'll check it out. Yeah. Anyways, so I thought maybe there'd be a bump to like 20 something, but just because of the this stuff in this patches are pretty good. Other than that, graphics and animation, material polish pass on Dune Man buildings pieces. They've kind of changed some of that. New radio effects, okay, and technical stability stuff. So it fixed issues, allowed the player to visit a friend while down state. Oh, so all kinds of things like that. Occasional crashes. Trying to name something with a space at the end will now correctly show an error message. Yeah, so that's just minor fixes here to building, things like that, combat, all that good stuff. So yeah, interesting stuff. So you guys can go ahead. There's a lot of fixes here, it looks like. So interesting. Yeah, you guys can go ahead and go through these yourself. I'm not going to read all these. The video just go on forever. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of those big changes. And I'm actually planning on getting back on the game tonight, actually, probably, hopefully, and check out some of these things. And I'm going to read through some of these, all these little quality of life fixes, and check them out. All right, everyone, let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'll see you next time.